not the greatest in the world, but a decent bloke, English and the standout figure of his era, I wrote at the time of his managerial qualities. Unfortunately, when you are one game away from the big one, the last person you want to be compared to is Wimbledon's four-time beaten semi-finalist. Thank goodness that Southgate has evolved just as his team have grown up under him. After England beat Sweden so convincingly here, the manager did not greet the fans with that iconic Tiger Tim gesture so suitable for the sensitivities of the royal box. Southgate unleashed the full Andy Murray, I can win this roar. And England really can win this. The Three Lions are not the best team in the competition, but few can match them for preparation and desire. Much like Murray, when he won Wimbledon for the first time in 2013. From an early age, the Scot had devoted his life to ending the years of hurt for British tennis since Fred Perry last lifted the men's singles trophy in 1936. Yesterday, it emerged that Southgate seems to have been cut from surprisingly similar cloth. It was his throwaway comment to a gentle enough question that perhaps gives some insight into why this likable but supposedly unremarkable 47-year-old is actually a good deal more remarkable than he lets on. After all, at first glance it is a classic scenario, one that is instantly recognizable to a whole generation of people who still remember England's last World Cup semi-final. In 1990, I watched it with some mates, at a mate's house, like I did with most rounds of that tournament, with a curry and a beer, said Southgate. I was still living in Crawley, at my parents'. I was a young pro at Palace, I would have been going back into pre-season by the end of it. It was a brilliant tournament, fantastic memories of the whole tournament, but here's the catch that Mark Southgate had from other teenagers much earlier than most people imagine. I remember videoing every game to watch back, he said. See, yeah, it was really special. I videoed it to look at the players, the matches, and I guess as a young player you wanted to see the best players, the level they were playing, and see what you could learn from it. That forensic approach, the game, shared by Murray, has been the bedrock of England's success in this tournament. Also, like Murray over the years, Southgate has surrounded himself with a team of experts whose opinion he trusts. Alan Russell, for instance, was a virtual unknown before the tournament, but he has been the mastermind behind England's set pieces. It is his habit an hour or so before a game to wander up to the media seats to take in the spectacle of the whole pitch from above, an opportunity to congratulate him on his work so far this summer. Trouble is, it's not getting any easier, he told me, acutely conscious that with other teams also doing the video research, reinvention is the key. Thankfully, after a slightly awkward start to the game in Samara, England were able to produce yet another corner variation. This time it was Harry Maguire thundering in to head home as England strikers dispersed themselves from an orderly queue in front of him in higgledy-piggledy fashion around the box. The goal came at a time when England had been improving, and that was the key to what was ultimately a straightforward win against Sweden, something of a bogey side in the past. For once England looked in total control, comfortable in the superiority and patient enough to exploit it when the time was right. The timing for Dele Alli could not have come better, in fact. Confidence salvaging far post headed just as the critics were getting ready to climb upon his back once more for another poor performance. In the first half I wasn't as sharp or as good on the ball as I should have been, he later admitted himself, but you have those games, and thankfully the team played so well, it's always great to get a goal. As an attacking player, you want to score goals, so I did want one for England. You do get frustrated, but I knew I would get a chance and that it would come. When it came, it was important I took it. It is the clinical way England saw out the game that further rubber stamps the readiness not just to enjoy being in the semi-final but actually going on to win it rather than avoid the unnecessarily cruel third, fourth place playoff. We play two matches whatever we do now, and we want to be in the one that matters, said Southgate. Given where this team is on this journey of development, it's way ahead of where we might be. But they've kept producing under pressure and kept composure in real big matches. They know what they want to do. They know they stand on a moment of history and they're desperate to do as well as they possibly can. We know where we are. We know we're not the finished article, and I don't think we have loads of world-class players. There are other teams in the tournament that perhaps have a better collection of individuals, but we've been a real team and we have got some excellent players, no doubt about that, but the collective strength has been massive. They don't need any motivation for this now. It's all there, it's all apparent, and we've just got to prepare them as well as we can for the game. They've been brave enough to go and play in matches where the tension could have got to them, but they've not allowed that to happen, so let's push the boundaries. Let's create our